What's going on, everybody? This is your Astrology Horoscope for Thursday, February 13th, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moonbase. Hope you guys are doing great. It's good to be here with all of you. What a wild full moon that we're coming off of. This just electrically charged, right? And I know with Mars, pretty much completely stopped. Mars is out of bounds, for one. The energy level, the libido is not at its strongest point, and that could be very frustrating. For a lot of people, Mars is bringing up a lot of frustration right now, okay? And this moon in Virgo that's coming through today is really helping us look at things in a more realistic, practical way, because a lot of this Pisces energy is very heightened spiritual frequencies that we're in right now. And this moon today really wants us to be a little bit more objective and a little bit more practical, right? This is where the perception comes into play, right? This moon in Virgo really wants us to look at our perception. It's making an odd angle to Venus here, and Venus is going to go retrograde here in about 5 degrees. Venus is going very slow. So with this moon making this very strange angle to Venus before it's going retrograde, before Mars is going direct, there's a lot of cleanup in our relationships. There's a lot of things that need to be said in our relationships. When it comes to people that we're close to, when it comes to financial situations, when it comes to relationship, when it comes to our health, when it comes to looking at whether a relationship is healthy for you as an individual or for both individuals. This is a moment where in our relationships today, conversations can definitely come up that can be emotional, right? On one side, there is this practical, patient, detached, mercurial delivery in expressing your emotions. But on the other end, it could be very offensive or trigger somebody in an uncomfortable way. But the truth is being delivered in a practical manner. So I think this is helpful for us to look at things much more realistically when it comes to financial situations and relationships. Venus is slowing down. This is a message. So every time Venus gets aspected here as we go into this retrograde, these are little droplets or Easter eggs of what this Venus retrograde is going to be showing us. And this moon today is kind of helping us clear off some dirt and some dust that's just been kind of sitting there, or maybe when it comes to your own personal needs and your own values and your own self-worth, that's a lot what we've been dealing with Chiron and Aries. Of course, that was kicked off last year with the North Node Chiron. So this Venus retrograde is going to be retrograding across these points. So this is where a lot of what Chiron has been doing in Aries, this Venus retrograde, and we're going to be feeling it today with this moon, it's going to be bringing up a lot of what we're going to be dealing with, So this could be very much hey, let's fix this. Let's work on this. This moon in Virgo, let's work on this shit. Let's communicate about it, right? The Venus in Aries is like, well, you said this and you said that and blah, 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 blah. And it's like the moon in Virgo is like, hey, let's just chill. Let's look at the facts. Let's look at the details. And later, this moon in Virgo will square Jupiter today, which just went direct. So this is the first time with Jupiter direct that Jupiter has to deal with the moon here. And it is. It's like when it comes to the truth and the facts, getting things in order, things that have been out of, that have been disorderly, the chaos that this full moon in Leo yesterday, has triggered and Uranus has been triggering, even though that T-square with the full moon, it's like we've seen a Uranus square, okay? We're stepping into territory that's completely unfamiliar with Uranus and Gemini coming through into the summer, okay? Neptune coming into Aries. There's a lot of odd things that need to change. There's a lot of odd things and stragglers and things that have been hanging on, things we need to look at and assess and just be truthful and honest about it. And the things that are unclear with this moon square Jupiter today, there are definitely some things on paper where there are things that could come up where it's like, oh, I didn't write that correctly, or, that wasn't true, actually. something you believed that, you were emotionally attached to, that, you were very critical of, some facts and some information today can reveal itself that can challenge your beliefs and challenge your understanding and challenge your knowledge, And if you're willing to look at things from a critical perspective and not be overly critical with this moon in Virgo, but we have to be critical, Feelings and emotions is what's going to get in the way of what understanding is trying to come through here. Mars is totally stopped in Cancer, okay? There's a lot of emotions that are just completely just, bubbling up, boiling up. They're not moving. The feelings and emotions are not moving right now. Mars is totally stopped almost. Okay, it's out of bounds. Mars is out of bounds, totally stopped, retrograde, about to go direct. So these emotions are not normal. When Mars is out of bounds, or when a planet's out of bounds, especially in Cancer specifically, this is when the emotions, they come from a whole other place that you can't even see or you didn't even know, and it's like you didn't even know they were there, and it's like this is where these real deep feelings start to bubble up with Mars totally stopped in Cancer. And we have to look at the positive, right? The positive is that, hey, now the truth can come out. Now the facts can be revealed. Now the fact that there has been, the truth is finally being laid out. With Jupiter coming direct and this moon activating this square that's challenging us. Like, hey, we need to be objective and honest. Like, now that we can look at the facts, we can actually move forward. And once Mars starts to go direct in Cancer, moves back into Leo, we're going to have a more clear understanding. Not until Mars gets back to 6 degrees and comes out of its shadow. Right, but this full moon and this week is what's triggering us to move into whole new territory and get ready for the new territory that we've never been in. Nobody on this planet has ever been in what we're stepping into right now. With the 3 major outer planets all coming into new signs, pretty much all at once. On the scale of what the length of, a planet's orbit is, right? It's a very small amount of time. So they're all coming into new signs all together, and we're stepping into new territory. Mars in Cancer totally stopped. It's like, I don't even know how to deal with this. Like, it's so new and so fresh, Cancer does not like to deal with new things. Uranus and Taurus does not like to deal with new things, even though Uranus is like, well, you have to. Now you have to. And that's what that full moon was all about yesterday. And we're feeling that. And now with this moon in Virgo today, squaring Jupiter direct, we have to take all of that and start to organize the chaos. Mercury's at 29. So there's definitely some fated conversations that are coming up, especially with people that you're connected to, So if things have been disconnected, this is a great place to really understand where the connections that are being made are actually on and where things are off, where the connections are off, right? And of course, Pluto and Aquarius isn't wasting any time with what connections are on and what connections are off. With Pluto, there's no gray area. Live or dead, on or off, black or white. Pluto's very black and white, in a fixed sign, okay? So this is definitely a very critical day, a critical week, and preparing us to step into the unknown. Because we don't know what Neptune and Aries looks like. We don't know. We only have the history. We don't know what Uranus and Gemini looks like. We only have the history, right? We've been feeling Pluto and Aquarius for the past couple of years, and we're here for good. So a lot of this tension and, a lot of the order getting disorderly and, allowing us to finally restructure and put things back in order in a whole new form, right? I think this is one of these days where we have to be critical about that, because on the other side of it is Mars coming direct. Right? And this Venus retrograde is going to be pretty gnarly for the individuals, right? We've been in such a collective perspective with all this Aquarian, Capricorn, and now Pisces, right? We're in the higher realms with this Venus retrograde and then Mars retrograding. Like, this is very personal. This is the self. This is the heart. This is the emotions. Where Venus and Mars is retrograding in the masculine and feminine areas, right? The masculine energy is totally, been suppressed during this Mars retrograde. It's not as forward moving, not as driven. The drive is not as great, especially in Cancer and its detriment. Venus retrograding in Aries and its detriment, like this is going to be, that Venus retrograde is going to be us looking at those eclipses last year, the North Node Chiron. It's going to be covering all that territory. So definitely this moon in Virgo today, squaring Jupiter. We want to look at the facts. We want to look at the truth. We don't want to get caught up in overthinking. The moon will cross the South Node tomorrow. So there are a lot of things that we've been fixed on and fixating on and being overly critical of and over criticizing ourselves. This moon in Virgo is going to be bringing that up a lot the next couple days. And this full moon in Leo we just had is like, look, we have to break through the norms, that T-square from Uranus. We have to break through the old patterns, and we have to express ourselves fully from the heart. When this moon in Virgo is saying, we need to set up an environment and look at our environment that we're emotionally connected to and allow that space to be that full moon in Leo, to be able to project that creativity from the heart, right? But things have to be organized and in place for you to execute whatever that emotion and passion really truly is. Leo is the passion, right? Leo expresses it. That full moon expresses it. When we get to Virgo, that's where we can actually make it real, lay it down, put it in order, allow it for people to see the work that you've done. So, this is definitely one of these days where we want to get down to work, dust our hands off, clean shit up, and get ready for this Mars coming direct. So, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget, go to my website, alexskylesastrology.com. My classes are now available for April, February, and March. We're totally booked. So if you want, wrong one. Go to my website, alexskylesastrology.com. You'll see the link below. If you want to do my personal astrology course, my one-on-one evolutionary astrology course with me, all the details are in the link on my website. Go check that out. My 2025 readings are available for the limited price until March. So, there's only 3 left actually that I'll be able to do before March. So if you want to get your 2025 reading from me for that price, I would do so now. There's 3 left. I know one person booked yesterday, so I'm pretty sure there's 3, at least by the time that I'm recording this. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day and peace out.